Hi, my name is Chad Sweeney, and for my senior project, I chose How Media Affects the Election. My advisor, Mr. Fecto, did a tremendous job on keeping me on track with my paper, making sure I was on topic throughout, and correcting anything from big mistakes all the way to the little grammar issues. So shout out to him. Since the beginning of election, news and media outlets have both positively and negatively affected national elections by impacting voter participation, broadcasting biased opinions, and misinforming citizens to swing parties. Throughout the history of these, media and news have heavily involved themselves in voter participation and spread of misinformation amongst political parties. Due to this, most media production organizations tend to have a bias on which information they wish to share due to their own political affiliation. However, this can lead to an unfair and unjust election solely based on the misunderstood information broadcasted rather than the legitimate information provided by the candidates. In 2013, social media took off and truly became a reliable entertainment activity for the people. For elections, we saw the first true effects of social media during the 2016 election between Trump and Clinton. Donald Trump has been one of the most active on social media from any president, as his controversial tweets create more hate and love towards him. I chose the topic of effect on social media on elections due to my interest in politics and media. I've always been into politics since I could really understand it, which was pretty much in 2016. Social media has been important in my life since 8th grade, and I knew I wanted to mix those two together, so all I had to do was just find a topic that included both. Here's the overview of the presentation, starting with social media's influence during elections. Social media's influence during elections has been a positive and negative impact. Positively, it has increased voter participation, and it has been used to promote campaign agendas and get the candidate's name more public. Negatively, misinformation and fake news has been widely spread throughout the media, and it can sway a voter's political views, leading to confusion and sometimes less votes for a certain party or candidate. Discrimination towards females has always been a problem in America, and social media just became a platform for more of it to occur. Biased opinions have targeted smaller citizen groups rather than larger corporations. Secondly, voter participation has tremendously increased since social media has started to affect elections. In 2020, there were a total of 159,633,396 votes, the most ever in election history. Joe Biden claimed around 81 million of those, which made him the first presidential candidate to ever surpass 80 million votes during an election. Social media has had nothing but a positive impact on voter participation. There has been a major increase in votes since the rise of social media. The media has encouraged voter participation through commercials, news channels, media posts, newspapers, websites, etc. The more the media, the more the opportunities. It's simple. For most people, visuals carry an even more powerful impact than words on a page. Images, especially of candidates, convey emotions, actions, realism, and credibility. These also form a lasting impression in the mind of the American public. Misinformation has for the most part had a negative impact on elections for multiple reasons. Misinformation can easily change a viewer's political views within minutes depending on how serious the misinformation or fake news is. This can also lead to less voter participation due to the confusion as to what is right and wrong. In 2016, misinformation heavily targeted Donald Trump. For example, databases shared that 115 pro-Trump fake stories that were shared through Facebook over 30 million times, and 41 pro-Clinton fake stories were shared through Facebook 7.6 million times. That is more than triple the amount of times for Trump. Also, in this election, 62% of Americans got news from social media. As you can probably tell, a lot of it was fake, but surprisingly to me, not all of it was from Americans. The Russians also knowingly spread misinformation with hopes of corrupting the U.S. government from within the country. They took advantage of the partisan divide that is present in American politics, contributing to and magnifying the internal division and fighting, not amongst the political parties, but about the political system itself. Hot topics such as gun rights, race relations, and immigration issues were used as weaknesses towards American society. This is a prime example of fake news spread in 2016. This is obviously one of the most obvious. Well, this is obviously one of the more obvious fake news headlines since it's so unrealistic. But it gives you an idea of how far people went with the fake news. Biased opinions and discrimination have always been a problem, not just in the election, but in American history itself. Biased opinions harm the original opinions of voters and can also lead to the sway of someone's political party. People have used biased opinions towards female candidates. Even though some people feel as if women are capable of obtaining a high position in politics, a majority of voters are anti-feminist within political positions. The mass media has portrayed these women who are striving to be included in this field as less qualified and weaker than men in politics. News channels also directly criticize their opposing party to make themselves look better, which influences their audience. This is just a little fun fact I found. On the left is a percent of Americans who use these three social media apps, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And on the right is the percent, it's of that percent, the percent of Americans who use that for certain apps for news. It definitely surprised me when I found out that 52% of Facebook users mainly use it for news. I honestly expected it to be a lot lower than that. 52% is crazy to me. For this section, I will be overviewing my product and my counterargument. For my product, I have created a tablet called Election Hub TV that will be distributed similar to phone books in the late 1900s. Mass-produced from a sponsor like Samsung or Microsoft, it will be delivered to each doorstep all across the country. Since the national election is in November, we will start the distribution process at the beginning of January, but we'll have all of them fully distributed by March 31st. This will be targeting people who don't have access to social media and the news or TVs. This 100% free tablet will include completely unbiased and real information on candidates. And not just the top candidates or the top two, it includes all of them. This tablet will also include information on how to vote, where to vote, and the requirements needed to be registered to vote. When you first receive the tablet at your doorstep, it will be in a basic cardboard box with the Election Hub TV written all along with the sponsors. It comes with a charger for your tablet that is a simple USB that plugs into a wall. The first thing it will ask you to do when turning it on is what language do you speak. So, for every U.S. citizen will be able to accurately read the information on the tablet no matter where they are from. Next, there will be a screen explaining what exactly the tablet is and why it's important. This will also include instructions on how to set up and use the tablet. No account needed, just strictly to the point. Once you read through the instructions and all that, it will send you to the homepage. The homepage is where you'll be able to access everything needed on Election Hub TV. There will be a menu button that immediately sends you to the table of contents, which you can click on each topic, like candidates, voting, and breaking news. Let's say you select candidates. It will show a list of every candidate running for the election. You can then scroll down and find the candidate you are looking for. Each topic is set up this way, but if you want a quicker alternative, there's a search bar that will be on the top right corner at all times. just for you to look up any candidates, topics, voting information, breaking news, etc. You can look up anything you want and it'll just immediately pop up, just like any search bar. Each candidate will have a profile page where factual information about them will be posted. Party affiliation, age, race, biography, and random other things will be included. On the front of the homepage, it will have the most recent political news, whether it is on new stats, controversial things candidates have said, or even information on voting. If, for some reason, the tablet breaks or it has mechanical issues, because no one's perfect, we can't make it completely perfect, then they can go to the closest Election Hub TV office and they will be able to receive one free tablet per election, so also every 4 years. If this happens a second time, then they'll have to pay a price of $199. If the owner of the tablet actually voted, then and it is returned by January 31st following the election, which would be like 3-ish months after the election, then they will receive a $50 Visa gift card. The Election Hub TV will help to eliminate the amount of biased opinions and misinformation that one hears, since the statements on the tablet are factual. Not only will the information be reliable, but the Election Hub TV will offer additional education on how to vote, plus inspire more citizens to vote. This tablet will potentially help our citizens to not only track the current election, but also expand their knowledge and understanding of the general election process. Social media has negatively affected voter participation because the more of these commercials and media posts and such focus on voting, and less the people are actually informed about the political information. So they're more distracted on voting and they're not actually knowing what they're voting for. So you have to know who you're voting for before you actually even vote for them. Misinformation and fake news has positively affected the elections because it makes citizens more interested in politics. Learning interesting things, whether it is real or not, will make you more interested in a topic. In conclusion, news and media outlets can have a major impact on elections through voter participation, biased opinions, and misinformation. Voter participation is a key factor in the presidential election. Due to these conditions, posts, tweets, commercials, and news stories continue to grow everywhere, convincing the population to obtain specific opinions and ideas. This continues to grow misinformation and can lead to changing political parties. As a result, this begins to promote ignorance to negative ideas heard about the previous parties that could be false. Biased opinions can have a major impact on elections because of how widely spread these opinions are. News channels directly criticize the opposing party and make themselves look better. For the senior project, I have learned that social media plays a huge role in the outcomes of elections. I also learned the amount of fake news and misinformation that is being spread throughout media every election. Both social media and the national election should be extremely important to our lives, and the world almost revolves around your technology device and the media apps that come with it. All of these effects of an election can impact the outcome of who wins, so Americans just need to keep their eyes open as to what is factual, who to vote for, and which people to listen to. Thank you for your time in watching this presentation, and I hope you have an extremely blessed day. Bye.